All right, everyone. So we're reading here from Wrestling Inc. I think there's a misconception that people are like, oh, Charlotte Flair is good, or that I was trying to be good. Flair told the Daily Mail UK. I keep going, and not that she's trying to be good or she's trying to be bad. No, Charlotte Flair is above being good and bad. She's just Charlotte Flair. She's the end all be all of women's wrestling. I am the end all be all of women's wrestling. Now that I have learned from every opportunity, I have learned from every opponent, I've learned from every scenario. To me, you're either wooing or booing. Get on board, learn to love it. According to Flair, her perception to fans changes from event to event. As an example, Flair noted that a recent live event against match against Piper Niven in Nottingham, England, produced cheers in her favor, whereas Niven received boos. The night prior in Belfast, North Ireland, however, yielded the opposite fan reactions. I love that I can take people on that roller coaster, Flair added. Either way, yeah, if we don't hear anything, then we worry. So I think I have an interesting take on Charlotte Flair's return and what we've seen so far because my hiatus from watching wrestling was really during the prime of Charlotte Flair. I watched wrestling a lot back in the day, Attitude Era, probably up until like the mid 2010s. Took a little bit of a break from watching a lot of wrestling. So I missed, honestly, I would say it seems like I missed the worst time when people weren't happy about it. But I did miss a lot of, Charlotte Flair. So when she was injured, that was just about when I was getting into it, just as she was, getting, had just gotten injured. And then I came into it again and started watching it again. And then we went on to start this channel, and the rest is history. But why I have an interesting take on it is because I didn't have that much really knowledge of who Charlotte Flair was, and I just know she's one of the best to ever do it in terms of being a women's wrestler. And so I didn't know what to expect when she came back. And I was pleasantly, I would say, surprised because I always lean towards I understand the frustration from certain people when there's a big star, they return, and then everybody is kind of like, oh my God, okay, so you just return out of nowhere and everyone else gets pushed to the bottom. And I understand why people get upset about that. But what amazed me was she came back and the control she had over telling her story and the character she was portraying was powerful. It was fantastic. I there's nothing else I could really say about it besides that. It was one of the best I've seen in quite some time. Especially when you kind of compare it to Jey Uso on the other side, because they both won the Royal Rumble. And I understand what Jey Uso was doing was part of the story, but Charlotte Flair she was playing her character perfectly. She came in, she was confident. She didn't know who she was going to choose. Like on one side, we had Jey Uso, kind of limping into who he was going to pick. Whereas on the other side, everybody was trying to get them, or, we had Rhea wanting her to fight her. Charlotte Flair wanted to fight her, Tiffany Stratton, I should say, wanted to fight her. It was just like perfectly planned out. Now, I think Jey Uso also played his role well, but it was just shocking to me that everybody was kind of like, oh, worried. Is this going to be bad? Is this going to be bad? Is this going to be bad? Turned out to be fantastic. So I have to say, I don't buy into any of kind of the attacks on Charlotte Flair. I think she came in and has done a really, really good job. And I think she deserves this title shot because I think the Tiffany Stratton feud between the two of them, I think it's the better of the two right now. And not to say the other one's bad, but the fact that she returned and was able to have the number one main event match on the women's side, I think tells you a lot. So thank you all for watching.